Hello, everybody. Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good here for this latest edition of Snow Talk. I am filling in for Andy Weingarten tonight. And it's a cold night out there. We still got some problems to talk about. You may have seen my Facebook post a few moments ago about the emergency that's been declared in Jefferson County, Indiana, due to snow drifts up to 5 feet in height, causing problems. The wind has really been a big issue across Indiana most of the day today in our eastern counties. Those of us in Louisville and around our southern counties, we've had high winds. We've had blowing of snow. But the areas I mentioned before, Indiana and east of here, have been cloudy all day and really have kept temperatures pretty cold. So they've had bigger problems with that. But no alerts have come out for this issue just yet, other than the emergency declared by the county emergency manager himself has declared that in Jefferson County, Indiana. So just heads up, stay off the roads in Jefferson County, Indiana, and really just stay off the roads in general tonight if you can, everywhere, because it's just nasty out there. It's still windy at times. I know here in Louisville it's not too bad on the roads, but those side roads, I'm telling you, they are slick. We had the roads melt for a while because we got up to 40, and that slush is now refroze again, and it's an ice rink. So what you thought was slush earlier, when you got out of the car, when you go back to get in, wherever you are, it's probably going to be ice covered. So be very, very careful overnight tonight, as those winds are really going to be causing problems too, with wind chills, pretty cold outside. A lot to talk about. Tomorrow, we've got a very interesting day set up because we have a warming trend ahead of a strong cold front that is going to take place. And that cold front will bring us a round of snow and true Arctic air that's going to stick around for about 72 hours. And then the pattern after that gets wacky. And I'm going to get into all of that here coming up in just a few moments. Let me give you the rundown of what's happening right now outside. And you can see we've got mostly clear sky. In fact, a clear sky over most of the area. All the clouds are out of here. The snow is out of here. It's just the wind is all we're talking about. As I brought the view out, this is our next weather maker now developing. It's an area of low pressure that's going to be developing in the Dakotas overnight tonight, and it's going to swing across Illinois, Indiana, and into Ohio. Anywhere along and with that track is where that main snow band is going to be for decent amounts of heavy snow taking place. Chicago, South Bend, Cleveland, Toledo, all in path of that heavy snow band. For us, we're going to be on the south side of the system, so we're going to get a strong southerly flow. It's going to kick in again tomorrow. That should warm us up into the 40s if we can overcome the snowpack, and we're able to hit 40 today with the snowpack, so I wouldn't see why tomorrow would be any different. The only difference is we may have more clouds than we saw today, and that may be a deciding factor. The other thing to keep in mind is we're going to be a lot colder tonight in our area compared to what we were this morning when we reached all the way up to 40. So we're starting from a further back spot in temperature that we got to really climb really far to get into the 40s, but I still think it's certainly possible, so we're going to keep it in the forecast. Now, as the low goes by and scoots off into Ohio and into Pennsylvania, the cold front attached to it is going to sag down into our area. As it passes through, there will be a band of snow that will accompany that. That should be after midnight for Monday or Sunday night into Monday morning. Now, because we get into the 40s on Sunday, this may start off as a little bit of rain, but it should quickly go to snow. This is very, very cold air that's going to be intruding the area, and I don't see why it wouldn't go to snow, and given the timing on this, it could be horrible timing, all right? Let me show the latest on temperatures, though, outside. Currently, it's 24 here in Louisville. We are, again, 40 earlier on today. In the teens here across the north, these numbers continue to drop every single hour, and will be likely into the single digits in many spots later on. The wind chills are going to be a factor in the coming days. Let me show what the forecast wind chill is as we into Monday night into Tuesday morning. Look how that pink just lights up the map. These are forecast wind chills. Again, we've been through this at least 3 times now. And I think we're looking at another wind chill advisory, if not a wind chill warning coming out with these kind of numbers. There is a wind chill watch from Bedford already North Vernon for this type of setup, and I wouldn't surprise me to see alerts come out even across the rest of our area. 16 below to 24 below is the current range indicated on the models as wind chills for Tuesday morning. Now, let's talk about Sunday here. Now, first off, as we get into Sunday morning, it's got temperatures around 18 to 20. Already, we're not far from that, so this is already off on numbers. So we're going to be a lot colder than that. I think we'll be in the single digits at this point. Now, I do like the idea of 40 showing up across Kentucky because we do have a lesser snowpack than our friends north and east do, so that's potentially a reachable number. And we've already seen what warm air advection is what we call that, can do to the area. So I think 40s are a good bet. I don't know about Indiana. You guys from Bedford to Seymour, you probably will stay in the 30s. But here comes the Arctic front moving in around 3 in the morning. Again, it's got some rain with it on the southern end here. We'll watch that. It could be even further north, closer to Louisville. But nevertheless, crashing temperatures along the boundary as these snow bands set up. Now, it could be snowing pretty good, too, with these bands. They pass on through by 7:30 in the morning. I know what you're thinking already. Yes, rush hour. Yes, schools, once again, being impacted here with snow falling and some light accumulations out of this. Temperature at that point, 10 as you into Seymour. Then it's out of here. We'll get some sunshine for the rest of the day, and then the cold weather moves in. These are not wind chills here, folks. These are actual numbers Monday night into Tuesday morning. 1 below in Louisville and up to 7 below in Seymour. And I, again, think these are too high. I think they'll be lower than that because of the snow cover. Speaking of snow cover, the RPM model does give some accumulation out of that Arctic front as it passes through. Right now it's thinking ½ inch to an inch of snow. Not out of the question. I think that would be the higher end of the entire deal. It's going to be mostly a dusting to ½ inch, but a couple of 1 inch amounts are certainly possible. Okay, looking ahead here. Once we get this cold Arctic air in place, the beginning of next week, it eventually will change. Let me show you how the pattern. You notice the clock we're on today. Now, as we head into the core of the cold air, there it is. Lots of those blues and whites showing up here across most of the eastern half of the country for Tuesday. That is the true cold polar vortex displacement, or whatever you want to call it, moving through the area. Now, as we go to Wednesday, it's still there. But look what happens on Friday. We start to see some warmer air working its way in from the south as the core of the cold air begins to retreat a little bit more to the north. And that trend continues into next Saturday. And this is interesting because there looks to be a storm developing at this time that is going to send in warm air. Now, if those who've been paying attention to my blogs a lot, you always hear me say when you come out of an Arctic air mass and you get a big warming trend, usually does follow that, you've got to watch for freezing rain because these are temperatures aloft moving in, but that cold Arctic air is heavy. It does not want to leave. It is stubborn. It'll be the last thing to leave our town. So there has to be the potential here for at least some freezing rain until the warm air surge is so strong coming in that it warms up even the ground temperatures and we begin to talk about just plain rain. So Friday through Saturday of next weekend is a tricky forecast. I'm going just a mix for right now. I'm not even going to touch it more in detail because the models are really struggling with this kind of a pattern. And then as we head down the road, we already see the headaches shaping up here. The Arctic air is going to go backwards. It's going to influence areas of Alaska and Western Canada and the Rockies for the first time. But look how broad it is. There's a chance the Arctic air could really stretch itself out over a good chunk of the country. Now, the really brutal stuff that we're going through this week will be locked in more up here. This is going to be typical wintertime cold in our area, 20s and 30s at night, that kind of stuff. So nothing brutal, but it does put the I-64 and I-40 corridors as the rain-snow line as we head into the month of February. And I think that line is going to hold true for most of the month. That is not good news because that means for a while we've been able to escape precipitation-type issues with every forecast. It's been snow or not. Now we're back into that zone where we're going to have to start worrying about is it going to be rain, is it going to be snow and freezing rain, is it going to be sleet, and is it going to change over and blah, 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 blah. You know the rules on this. February is going to be one of those months. The difference is when you get warmer air involved, you get stronger low pressures, you get bigger storms. So the snow is not these little clipper-type snows. The snows can be big. And if you get caught under the big snow, it's going to be big. If it's freezing rain, it'll be big deal for freezing rain. And if it's rain, it could be heavy rain and with enough warm air, it could be thunderstorms and even severe weather. So the month of February is going to be a very volatile month the way it's looking now for the area because the cold air is stretching itself out across the country. The warm air then sees a chance to make a move. It's going to do that, and the battle begins between winter and the beginnings of some spring-like weather trying to punch its way into the United States. So I am already dreading February as far as forecasting goes. I've already got a headache, in fact, even thinking about it. So the easy forecast of snow or not snow is about to go away for us. The real big challenges are lying ahead as we head into the month of February. So at least the good news is the brutal cold, I don't really see that really coming back right now. I can't rule it out. It could certainly come back. It has already 3 times this season. It certainly could do it again later in February. So I'm not saying no. It just, at least at this time, I'm seeing it taking a break, and that's fine with me for right now. I think we all could use a break on that. One final note when I went winding down the final minutes, just a heads up. A lot of you commented on this, and I mean this as sincere as I can be. Please be careful with your comments. I know that you all like to criticize, especially the weather people. We can handle that, or we're used to that. It's part of dealing with the public and the job. I get that. Just be kind as much as you can with the comments that you do say. Don't use horrible language. Don't be attacking on a personal level. Keep it civil. We're all adults here, and I'm just asking everybody to the Facebook page, especially my page that I do, and I know the blogs we have up, they're there to inform you guys of crazy weather, and we're trying to do the best we can to keep everybody safe. So let's keep it civil. All right? Have a good night.